Hello, this is Lena Bryan making bespoke craft designs. I'm using up all my bits, so I've had to gather some more bits together. I've already cut it down. Now the only thing with the Edith Holden ones, what I was going to say was to get a nice image on one of the sides. Sometimes you have to make sure you have to fold your paper first so you can see that you're not going to get an upside down image on there. Bits all over. Trying not to crowd the what's those bits? Oh, some bits of... I've just pulled a load of bits out just to see if any of them were any good. What have I got here? I've got a bit of vellum there. I do like that. So that one there, this one, obviously is going to be the front, and then this is going to be the bit that tips up. So when I come round to do this, I need to make sure I'm putting things the right way up. So I'll do that one. I'll do this one first. I'll have a look at this one first. I think that's the right colouring. I quite like a bit of that. What have I got here? Ooh. Some little bees and things here. It's nothing. Look, some bits of paper there that I quite like. Oh, what a lovely mushroom. Oh, I might have found somewhere to put a mushroom. Let me have a look. Oh, look at that big bee. Well, like him, he might go up there. Let me have a look. What else have I got? I think that's going to be too big to put anywhere yet. I've just been cutting out some little bits that I had, little bits of paper, and then I was cutting out. I've got to think about having to have a bird on everything at the minute. I do like that bird as well. Well, have a look and see what we think. Don't know. About just a bit of that one. This is just one of these, and it's got like a few numbers and bits on the top of it. I just thought, I wonder if that'll do anything. Oh, let's have a look at this. See what I'm going to do. I'll take that one off for a minute. This one's got quite a bit of white on it, so we'll just give it a bit of a... I don't mind keeping the white on as long as you just cover it up a bit with a bit of ink. This one is Vintage Photo. I might have to just, I'm not going to try and tear that, I'm going to just cut that little bit off because it's just a bit too much. That's it. And just, whoops, on the wrong one. Yeah, put that one on there. And then I'm only using what's on the end of my sponge. I've not re-inked it or anything. I'm only just really taking the white bits off. Just seeing what I think to these before I put my other bits on. These are just the tiny little bits that were in a set from Tracy Fox's Etsy shop. And they do come in handy when you're doing little bits like this. I wonder if I can get away with that. I do like that mushroom. I do think I've got to have the mushroom on there. I might even have the bee. I do quite like that. But I think they're going to have to be a bit closer together. Do I like that? No, I think I'm going to go with that. I think I quite like that there with the mushrooms. We'll get the mushroom on first because he's out the way of the other bits. I don't think I'm putting that bit of vellum on. Oh, I don't know. I might have that after when we've got these bits on. Yes, I've done all the belly bands and I wanted these they're not envelopes, but they're like faux envelopes. They're just folded over pieces with the well, I've made some slightly different. I'll show you each one as I do it. This one I've backed it, so you can, you know, it's just plain paper and you can write on it. Well, at the moment, the me, but I am going to do some giveaways, so. So I am thinking about setting up an Etsy shop. So before I set up my Etsy shop, I think I'll do some giveaways. This one's really thin paper. Some of these little bits I must have printed on a little bit thicker, not really card, but a bit thicker paper, but that's really thin, which is better on these. You don't want them to be too bulky in the little journals, because I'm not really, I've reinforced the spine of the journal, but I've not made a very thick cover, because the whole point was I'm using up all the bits that I've got, and I wanted to use up a paper pad. Now I've got to decide whether I like a bit of this vellum on there with or without. I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tear it down and use a little bit of that and just put a little bit. Good idea to put it on the right side though. Yeah, so that's that side done. And then this side here, I wanted to try and put that on there. Can I just cut a bit of this bottom off? I think this is off another Edith Holden page that I was cutting down, so I'm just putting some bits back on. I think the bee is as well. I don't know where the bee's going to go. I think he's going to have to go up there. Or does he want to go? Oh, let's just have a look at that. The flap. Oh yes, I like him on there. Right, I might just have to put a little bit more. Oh. On this one. Oops, just get a little bit on there. There we go. And then I want to put him on there. Do I want him at an angle like that then? Oh yes, I like him there. Plenty of glue on him. I'll put him, I might just have to cut one of his, bit of his wing off and a little bit of his leg off. Only a tiny bit, just so it doesn't keep bending up and down and break off. Tiny bit of wing there. And a little, what about on there? Is there a bit? Oh yeah, just a little bit there as well. Oh, it still looks very nice on there. Still looks really nice on there. That's that bit. And then I'm still thinking of putting that on there. done any stamping in the background of this one because I'm not sure it really needs it. So I'm just going to put that one on there. Does that want something else? Just something little. Not sure what. I might just think about that one because I quite like that one. And then when you lift that up, obviously that's the right way up. So that's the only thing you have to remember when you turn it up. And this one's just got some ledger paper inside just to cover it, that one. Let's have a look at the next one. I think oh, now this one is what I use for backing one of the other papers. It's out of a book and it's like drawings done with like a real fine pen or a pencil, and it's just got a real nice background, and inside I've just got some leaves, but you'll be able to write over that. There's plenty of room to write over, and I liked that rather than it just being plain. So the same goes again. I've got like a blank canvas on this one. So let's have a look and see. I think I want to put a bit of colour on this one. Now I did dig out some little bits that I've fussy cut, but I got a flower book and used that as my paper, and then just die cut flowers with the and so my little flowers all have flowers on them, which was quite cute. So I just thought, oh, look at this. But they're very tiny and they get full, and they take a bit of time to die cut. But often I'll die cut things and then I'll sit and you know, if I'm doing different ones, and I can poke all the bits out, obviously, if you want them. Oh, I like that. That's just got like butterfly, well, big butterflies and little butterflies on like a branch. I quite like that one. Some little leaves that I copied out. Listen to me, my words are all back to front today. I haven't had my first cup of coffee yet. That I cut out. I meant to say. Oh, that's the pretties that I'm doing. I'm just trying to look what the colouring's like on them. I do like that one. Yeah, and I want a leaf. So I've got some leaves there. Let's have a look and see what we can do with this on here. So I say it all depends what things you've got in, really. I've just tried to do a variety just to show, you know, so I don't always have my die cut machine out nowadays, now that I don't do any cards. I just got so hooked on junk journaling that I don't seem to have the time these days to want to do the cards. I do. Let's have a look, see if I can get these. I'm going to put the flowers on last. You're my best friend, aren't you, Oscar? Just trying to get some of these down. I hope these are going to look all right when I've put the tops on. Flowers over the top, so they start to blend a bit more into the background. A bit difficult to glue them because the glue comes straight through. I was just going to get my bone folder out. Just to make sure they stick down a bit. Right, let's have a look at these flowers. It wants to be a bit more colour now with the greenery. Let's have a look. What have I got there? I think this is one I might go for, that one, because I do like that colour on it, but I'm not so sure. I do like that. I like that little flower there. No, still can't make my mind up. Right, I'm going to put this one. Oh gosh, this is going to be a difficult one to... I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my glue straight down. My glue straight down onto here and then rub the remainder off, because I'm not sure I'll get through all those little bits. I mean, I know you can get the tiny little nozzles on the glue, but just still do it my way. Oh, now that's what I mean, you have to be very careful. I didn't actually rip that off, but I did bend it. So I just like to get my bone folder on them and just press them down a bit so you don't get the glue to your fingers. Right, I just saw there was one with a bit of... This is the thing, they're very random because they're different pages. Oh, I like that with that really pale sort of pinky colour in. So we'll do that one there. You know, this could turn out not to be very good, and I've spent a lot of time on it, but on the other hand it might look quite nice. So here's hoping. You know, if you've got these die cuts and things, you want to use them, don't you? You've got to still try and use them. Just because you've stopped doing what you bought them for, you know, they're quite expensive die cuts. So and me cutting machine's expensive, so I had no intention of stopping using that. I just, because I did buy some dies, some tags and some squares and things that I can still use. It's just a matter of getting it out when you want to do it. I've got it tucked away and I can't always be bothered to get it. I can't always get to it to get it out. So when I get it out, I go mad and then put it away again. So I go through all my dies, think, oh, put that one down, I'll do a bit of that one, and I'm not sure this is the best way gluing the back, but even sticking it on top of the glue stick itself was a bit hard to do. So let's have a look. Let's get that on there. I want that one somewhere as well because I like the different shapes. So we'll have this here. Oh, it's very delicate, that. Very pretty, delicate colours. It's very sticky on the top. I shall have to get my talcum powder pad thing over it and take the sticky off. So I'm going to try and just stick that one. No, it still needs... Oh, I don't want to put even more sticky on, so I will just try this one this way. This is so delicate. You know, they're tiny, tiny. They're beautiful. They're really pretty, but they're just very delicate. Bone folder. I wouldn't do more than one of these on screen because this one's going to take me quite a while because it's layering them up and it's just putting them up. I do like that one up there, and that's where I did have quite a bit of glue up there, so I'm going to try. Yeah, so that just looks like a field. Oh, sorry, I haven't got them in the camera. Can you see? It's like a field of very delicate little flowers. They are really, really pretty, and the background just looks really nice. Does it want a bee or something? I don't know. Not sure it does want anything else. Oh, I did see A really nice little bird. Oh, there he is. Little bird flying in the sky that I quite liked. It looks like he's flying to land on the... Yeah, I quite like him. He just looks like he's flying to land on the flowers. So I think he's going to go on that. As I say, these are just all the little bits that... There were little scraps of paper that I was going through and thought, oh, I'm not keeping that, I'm not keeping that. And if I saw anything that I could fussy cut out that I hadn't originally, that's all I was doing. Now with this, if I find that these are a bit delicate, I might go over them with some kind of either a little bit of Mod Podge just to make sure that it secures all the bits down. I think I probably will when that dries. I'm going to let it dry first and then I'll decide. So on this one here, this side, I don't think I want any more of those flowers. They're sticking to my desk, I don't want them. Let me have a look what I'm going to put on there. I think I maybe put a bird. Do I want a bit of that? Yeah, I'm going to put a bit of this vintage paper that I've got on this one. And that. And then I think I'm going to put a bird just on that. And then I think, because I'm not obviously gluing these together, I think if I've got some cotton in my needle, so I'm not messing about threading because I'm terrible. It takes me ages to thread a needle these days. Oh, I have. I've got some. Oh, I have. Oh, I have. I tried to re-thread them when I've finished. I've always just sewn, like I'll show you another one in a minute, with the sewing on. That's what made me think to put it on. Oh, this one's gluing down here. Let's just glue this down. It's just a piece that I've collaged to, because the other piece wasn't big enough, and it's coming off already. Right. So let's have a look on here. Just wondered, I'm not an embroiderer, I'm not particularly a sewer. I do sometimes get the sewing machine out and sew edges, but quite often it's quite a hassle to get to my sewing machine, so I don't always do that. So I just thought, just to put something on this one. I've done it on a couple. As I say, I'd already done the video and it went wrong. I've done zigzag on, well, you know, form of that looks like zigzag, and it looked quite nice. The only thing is, on paper it's hard to get it level. So if that happens, I make the fact that it's not level the feature rather than try to make it level, because so I'm just stabbing up and down, I'm not doing anything major. So I'm just gonna, I'm back. I've just had to go to the door because there was a parcel there, and they bang very loud and then move away, so they wait for you from a distance just to see that you are there. So I just had to go in. So I've just done like some big stitches, nothing fancy on here. As I say, there'll be a lot of you out there that are thinking, oh goodness, it's a bit untidy, but I just like to put something on it. So I'm going to now try and see which is the easiest one. I'm going to go back into one of my holes that I went in before, not the last one, it's obviously a pull it out. So I've done like 2 rows of stitching, and now I'm just going to connect the two. So this is just the way. And I don't suppose this is any kind of a stitch that you've ever seen. It's just me sort of making it up as I go along and just connecting them. So just connecting all the original dots if I can find them. If I've been in one a few times, then obviously it's a bit harder to, so that one there's a bit harder to get. It's harder to see which one it is on this side. So you might think this is too faffy then, fair enough, don't do it. It's just me, I like it. I like doing a little bit. And I often do this, I'm only doing it on camera because I was showing you what I do, but I often do this just when I'm sat watching telly at night, just to give me something to do, because I can't just sit and watch telly. I love watching, you know, different crime dramas and things, but I've still got to have something to do. That's it. Sometimes you just have to play about with which hole you're going to go back into. And then probably what I'll do with this one is I'll not finish it off on camera. I'm just going to do some of this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed another colour through it. So I'm not going to keep doing this because it'll be quite boring for you to watch it, but because it's nothing, it's not a stitch that I can say is anything for you to learn. It's just literally making a few holes and going through the holes, and that's what I've done, and then joined them all together and just made a bit of a feature of a pattern just to say I've done it. But I try to go through the same holes just so that I haven't got holes all over the place. At the same time, if you're doing it with thinner paper, you have to be careful so you don't you know, break the paper up, but this is quite thick. So yeah, so that's literally all I've done, and at the moment I've made like a little grid which looks quite a mess, but I shall feed some other colours through it when I've finished. So I'm going to leave that one to do off camera and then show you when it's finished, because it's going to take me ages. But so I'm just in the middle of doing that. So I'll just show you what I've done so far. So we've got the bird on there. That will have a bit of something on it when it's finished. And then I've got that on that side. So we'll leave that one for a minute. And then I'll come back and show you that as I've done a little bit more. So this one here is one that I've already sewn, and I've just sewn around the edge of this. I've just literally stabbed up and through, round the top and in a little way along, stabbed all the way along, gone all the way round. And this is with just 2 different coloured ordinary cottons. This isn't any embroidered silk or anything, it's just 2 ordinary cottons that you have in your sewing box, and that's all I've done on that one. And I'm just looking what I'm going to do on this, because this is quite busy in the background. So let's have a look. Have I got something, some bits and pieces? I'm just looking what I've got on this side here. The big white flowers. There's another butterfly there. Oh, butterfly and flowers always look nice. Don't think I want more flowers though. Might put that one on somewhere else though. Oh, there's a big butterfly. Let's have a look at him. And some big birds. Let's have a look at them. Some little birds there. Oh, let's have a look what we've got here. Oh gosh, look at all these lovely birds. Right then. So, even though some of this is going to be upside down, this one there is going to be upside down. So we'll make a look at that for a start. It just looks as if the flowers have sort of dangled down though, you know, like they do sometimes when they droop. So I'm just going to build up a little bit of paper on that side. I'll just put a bit of collage on this one, I think, first. And this is just the bottom of a tiny little bit of a printables. I can't even tell you which one it is, but it is a printables. And it's just got a little bit of like pinky and lemony on it. And see, it's a tiny little bit that I've saved. I must have just liked that bit, so I think I'm going to put a bit of that on there for a start. And put this I don't even know if I'm putting these on and I'm inking already. I am putting this one on, this printable bit, but yeah, quite like that. Does it? I think the butterfly might go on the other side. I think I'm going to go with the bird. So I'll have this down there. So it's Saturday night when I'm doing this, and obviously we can't meet up with people at the moment, and my daughter and a boyfriend are getting married. Then we've been to look at the venues, and then we were going to book the venue, but at the moment we can't book the venue because obviously, sadly, there's a lot of people who had weddings this year that have had to cancel them, so they get priority. So we haven't been able to book anything, which is fine. You know, we understand that there's more important things at the moment, and you know, it was for 2022. So what we've decided to do is move it ourselves anyway to 2023, because people who had weddings this year will be moved to next year, and next year to the year after. So we've just moved to 2023, so it gives us a lot longer. But my new son-in-law to be, his mum and dad, we're having a quiz with them tonight. We had one last week and it was real good fun, just over now it's not Zoom, I think it's just Facebook they've done. Not Facebook, FaceTime. Oh, listen at me in technology. FaceTime, is it FaceTime? Yeah. I just have to answer the call. I don't do any of the technical stuff. I just get a text first saying, I'll be ringing you up, answer the phone. I've just got a bit too much glue on there, and that's all I do. Answer the phone, and then I still think I might put that butterfly. There's a funny shaped butterfly. He is out of an Edith Holden, and I don't know whether it's just the way I've cut him out from, he was maybe stuck to a flower or something, so it's a bit of a funny shape. Oh, I've stuck into my desk, but I am going to put him on there. So that's that. Let's have a look at this bit then. So that bit's just making sure I've got it the right way. This bit wants to go this way. Just move that out my view with my needle, so I should be pricking myself. So I've got a bird on there. I'm not sure I want another bird then. Oh, I've got a clock there. I wonder if I put, it's a bit shabby chic looking, but I quite like that clock. Do I like that clock? I like the butterfly. Let me have a look at this. Probably a little bit of that, not all of it. Quite like that. A little bit of that paper lace in the background there I've got. some little white flowers that would stand out on the front. No, don't like them. Might put that one on there. I like that on there. Let's just ink this up and see what I think to this. I've inked it up. Not even sure whether I'm putting it on, but I just put a little bit like that. Don't want it all on there. Yeah, I think I'll just put that little bit on and then cut. So let's have a look. Let's just tear that and see what that looks like, and it's see what that looks like. Don't want to cover up all my stitching, you see. It's got my stitch in there. I think I'll have to do if I put that on there. Do I want it there? Not sure if it's the butterfly that's making it difficult, or I don't want more flowers. I wanted a butterfly, and I haven't got many. I've got a lot of blue ones in here, but I haven't got a lot of they're just a bit too much of a contrast, I think. Have I got anything else? Let me just have a look. Different coloured flowers. What about that one? Quite like that one, actually. Oh, what about that? Oh, that's half of a one. What have I got in here? No, don't like that colour. I don't mind that one. Oh, here's one with a bit of orangey in it. It's a bit small though. What does he look like? That one? Or do I go with that big one? Yeah, I quite like that one actually. I quite like that bit of blue in there. I wouldn't have put that on there. I wasn't going to go down the blue road, but there you go. No, don't want those. Just putting those little flowers that I've just used back in one of these pots. It's going to be all over the place. They stick to me. They'll be all over the place. I'm just looking if I've got anything else here. Not convinced what I really want. I do think that looks alright though. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with that. Because it all depends. The whole point is I'm not just getting things that are perfect. I'm using what I've got and making the most. But I still want something else in this background. Let me have a look. What have I got here? Some more of these numbered bits. This is just a journaling card that I'm breaking down. It's got the alphabet on. Just quite like that one with the B, to get the B out of the way, and to use a bit of this, I think. Whether I use the lace as well, I don't know. But I'm going to put that on there. Do I want that lace behind it? Like that. And then put the blue butterfly there. Yeah, I like that better. I'm going to go with that. Put that on there. I want to be able to see me stitching. And put this round here. And then I'll put that on there. Did go around this one, I wasn't sure whether I had or not. So, and then I'm going to put him across there. Oh yeah, I quite like that now. With the blue butterfly, just a good contrast. And then I've got the bird and the butterfly on that side. And what am I going to put on here? Am I just going to put one of those little flowers in the middle of there? I think I maybe am. Let me just have a look if I've got a bit of that again. Yes, I've got a bit, still got this little bit of the printable, so I'm just going to put that over that little white space there. And then I'm just going to bring one of these flowers out of another book that I've cut out. And, oh, I've stuck it to my desk again. I think that one goes that way, like that. Yeah, and I like that on there. I think that looks quite pretty. Then when you lift that up, you've got the bird. And then inside you've got plenty of room. So there you've got the inside and plenty of room to write. You can write over that because it's very sort of pale. You've got your stitching all around the edge that just sort of defines it a bit. And then on there you've got the bird with a bit of collaging underneath it. I've just put a bit more of that on here and the flower. And then on that side I've got a bit of blue for a contrast, a bit of collaging and a bit of a clock on there. Yeah, quite like that one. So last one, and then I've just got to come back to you with that bit of sewing. Now this one totally was the end of a piece of Edith Holden, and it was just a strip that I've then shaped, but inside I liked the poppy, and I thought, well, on this one I'm going to put that on the inside, and there's plenty of room, and I haven't backed this one. There's plenty of room there to write on and to write on up here, but obviously this side, the only bit that's any good on this one is the daisies are actually upside down, but they do look quite pretty. But then I need something on here and something on here. So this one, I think I am going to have to do a bit of stamping in the background, because obviously it needs something first before. So let me have a look. So I'm just using espresso truffle, and I'm just going to put some little bits of stamping on it. These are Tim Holtz set, and I love them. I think on this one here I might come back and put a number on, but I don't know where the number's going to go. I've got a number on one of the others that I've done. I really like that. I don't know, I might even put that on the inside. I haven't decided yet, because I'm not sure what else I'm going to do on that one. So I've just put a bit of stamping, just so it's not quite so plain in the background in my brain. Ooh. Oh, I might have found somewhere for you. I keep picking you out and not using you. And a little bit of that leaf. I do like that too. Let's have a look on here. Some little bugs on this one. I'll move that out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, that's got the needle. Oh, don't pull my needle out. That's it. Let's have a look. What have I got here? Oh, I've got a bit of vellum there. Might use a bit of vellum on this one. I do quite like that leaf there. But then that's going to be the piece. Oh, I was nearly caught out there, wasn't I? That's going to be the piece that goes that way up. And then this is the piece that goes this way up. Right, so let me have a look. What have I got? I do like that flower. Ooh, it's an unusual, like a, I don't know what that is. Green flower. Put that there, quite like that. What am I going to do with that though? Oh, some tiny, tiny birds there. Oh, he's cute. I cut loads of birds out, as I say, just out of little bits that were left. And they were just sort of in the corner with something else. And I cut them out. Oh, loads of bits. You know, like that, when it's got a bit left on it, I will then cut that out and use it because I'm not going to waste it. Is there anything there? No, I think that's a bit bizarre on there. What have I got? Quite like that little tickety thing. Or maybe a little bit of, oh, got another bird there. Goodness me, not many birds. Probably won't use any of them, but I like them. So let's have a look. I was to put a bit of that on there, and I don't know which way around. Quite like that. And it's that way up. Sorry if there's any music lovers looking and saying she's got that upside down. She's put that upside down. Possibly have. Oh, do I want that little bird on there? I'll have a look at him in a minute. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. Let's have a look. See, there isn't much coming off on this. I'm just trying to get rid of that little bit of white. And I want that one to go underneath. So I want that to go there. Like that. And that piece together. Hopefully there'll be a bit of the stamping showing, but obviously I am covering some of it up. But it's just nice to have it in the background. I do like that flower. But I think I'm going to put that one on first. Like that. Do you know, I've used up ever so many of my bits and pieces, which is what I promised myself I was going to do. Yeah, quite like that, like that. Let's see if I can get you placed before I move everything. A bit of glue on there, then I know where it's going to go. What's that piece? I don't know. Oh, that was my leaves, wasn't it, from the other side? Wondered what was happening there. And then I like this. My board gets very sticky doing it like this. I mean, glass, it's a glass mat. And it gets very sticky, and each time I've finished I wash it up, but I just find it easier. I think it's brilliant how the again, Rachel, she always uses a glue book, and I do have a page next to me. I always have a page next to me, but I use it for stamping on and things. But then if you glue it, obviously it gets all glued up. I'd just rather wash my desk down. Bird on there. I think we'll go with that little bird. So these journals are just going to have all my odds and ends in. So I want to try and use them all up. Stop saying, oh, well, it's an Edith Holden page. I've got to save it, and I've got to save it for something else. Because I'm such a hoarder. I just need a little bit more. Again, these little bits I might go over and just seal them with some Mod Podge. A bit of water and a bit of Mod Podge just to seal them. So that they, you know, they don't come up. Yeah, so I quite like that one. Like that. Let's just move them out of the way a minute so we see what we're looking at. Yeah, so I like that. And then that will just come over there like that. So you can still see where I've stamped in the background. It does look quite effective. Now this one, this is where the leaves look really strange upside down. So I did cut these out. Does it need inking at all? I don't think this one does, because it's an Edith Holden paper and the paper's already a yellowy colour, so there's nothing really. Just want to give it a good stick down. So I do get very sticky, my desk, and if I wasn't on camera I'd keep stopping and wash my desk down, but I don't want to do that on camera. So I like that. What else have I got here? I've got to use some of these bits up. I like that bug. He's on like a little journaling card or something. I wonder if I just put him on there. Not cut him out, but just leave him on the journaling card. I quite like him. I might do him. I've got another bug there, but I've got a bee. I think that's a wasp and that's a bee. I don't think I want both those, but we'll see. So let me just have a look. We've got the flowers and the little bird on there. Do I want that little yellow bird there? He's really got his own branch, but I quite like him. Quite like him there. I've got another little bird here. Quite like him too. He could sit on the leaves because I've actually chopped his legs off. It's a bit cruel of me, isn't it? I've chopped his legs off because I'm not very good at... he was probably around something else and I've just managed to chop his legs off. I could sit him there under there. Now I'm not sure I want that. I'm not sure about the colour. I do like him though. I think he's going to go on there. What else? Do I want the bug as well? Or do I want a little flower? I did see I had another flower somewhere. Where was that other flower? Do you know, I could have sworn I had another bit of a flower. What about that one? Oh yeah, I like that. Oh, I quite like that. That and that and that little bird. Not that a bird would sit on one of those flowers, but it's like a pansy, I think, that one. But I think I'm going to go with that because I really like that. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, so that's the last one that I've done. So I'm just going to move these out of the way. So this one I'm going to finish that off and then I'll come back to you and show you what that looked like with the bit of sewing. I'm going to have to clean my desk first because I'm sticking to everything. Off, and then this was the one I've just done with the daisies on the top there. I know what I was going to do. I was going to put that number on there, but I don't want it to be too bright, so I'm going to stamp it off first and just see what it looks like stamped off first. Yeah, I want the second stamping of it just on there. Yeah, and it's just very pale then, just stamped on the edge. I didn't want it too bright, so I've stamped that on there. Yeah, so they're the three. I shall get back to you. I'll see you shortly. Hello, I've done some of this sewing. I'm just finishing it off. So I showed you me doing the green where I made like a grid. I've just made a grid line there, but then I've gone in with a yellow, and all I've done is gone in the first hole, and then I haven't done any more sewing on this side because I didn't want it too thick on this side. I've just literally gone in with the yellow and scooped under here without pricking it into the paper, and scooped it all the way under to the end, and then I've just used the last hole just to secure it. And then I've gone in with a third colour and I've done similar again. I've just got a little bit of the pink there where I've put the needle first in, and I've gone in every other hole just to secure it a little bit, but so it doesn't make this area too thick. And then I'm halfway through, just scooping underneath. I'm not actually going through any holes or anything. I just wanted a bit of the colour to be seen. So it's made a real sort of, well, a bit of an untidy mess really, but it's just, I just quite like it. It's nothing, say, it's no stitches as such, it's just, so I've just scooped over the top of that. And then I'm just going to go right into the end one, just scooping through it. I don't want that yellow to get in my way though, because I want to keep that one out. Don't want to. Oh, I've managed to pull it the wrong way. Leave that dangling. That's it. And then I am just going to go through one of the holes this time, just so it doesn't come out when I'm and just mind I don't get my yellow in the way because I want to keep my yellow. That's it, I've just gone through there, and then I will just go hook through because I'm going to put a bit of washi tape or something just on there. I think it'll be washi tape, or will it be a bit of one of those with the number on, you know, where I stamped out the number. I wonder if I use a bit of that. See what that looks like on there, if I can get that number in over the inside of that. And that looks quite effective on there with that number on it. So I'm going to do that. I've left my ends hanging, so if I decide to put a charm on it, which I think I probably am going to do, so I'll glue that down with Fabri-Tac. That's obviously quite, you know, a lot of thickness. It's pretty apparent I'm not an embroiderer. This is the one where I did the sewing. So this isn't actually, it's this one I've actually made into like a little notebook. So under there I haven't backed this Edith Alden page. I've left it with some space on there and just the poppies and the flowers in the background, and I've made a little booklet, and then in the booklet I've done like my own version of zigzag that I've just done myself, and of course it's come through to the other side, and I just thought that looked quite effective. Now this is those leaves that I've just shown you that were that's not the hand sewn one, that's just where I've already coloured them in. So I've coloured them in, and then I've just put a butterfly on there. I just think it looks quite effective. Say I'm no sewer, and I've just done some little stitches there in the pink just to make like a flowery effect. Back to you shortly with another video. See you soon. Keep safe and keep crafting, and bye for now.